I had a hobby of photography. One Saturday morning I woke up and to the newspaper there was an ad for a Pentax ME Super.
Pentax ME Super.
Went down to the store and bought it, and I started taking pictures. So one day I finally decided that I was going to learn to process color film. So I built a darkroom in my garage, read the books, went to classes just like at SPAC, PSPA, and I learned to process my own color film. I was building a school out in Katy, and the painter that was involved with that job was in charge of a Little League. I'd talk photography, he would talk Little League. One day he said, "Would you be interested in photographing our 600 kids?" I says, "Gee whiz, I've never done anything like that before." I called one of my roommates from back in college. He came down and helped me shoot. It was a simple job. We took 600 kids' pictures in an hour and a half. We were shooting medium format cameras, Vivitar 283 flashes. Once we got through taking all these pictures, we had bukus of film. So we ran up to Brian where the lab was and processed the film. He had a Lux Step 1 printer, and gee whiz, I stayed up all night printing. And by Sunday night, I had printed all 1,800 units of photographs. The wife and I sat down at the kitchen table and we packaged and we delivered that job. They wrote me a check. I thought, I like this. They'd never seen anything like that. The quick delivery and turnaround. So that's the way I got started. I'm a professional photographer, been in the business about 30 years. About 10 years ago, I built the studio. I'd had all the nights and weekends that I wanted up to that point, so I moved into the school business. It's been a long time since back in the film days. We had bottlenecks of production. We only had one editing machine, we only had one CVIS machine. And those were time-consuming items. Even today in the digital world, there is a lot of work that has to be done in order to get the head sizes correct, the color composition correct, making sure that all the images for the yearbook are nice and uniform. That's one of the places that Skylab has really helped me out. And by the way, thank you, TJ. Over the last year, I've enjoyed working with you. Started uploading images and you started building those color profiles for me. And about 3 or 4 months ago, started testing. It was fabulous.
Hey, it's TJ from Skylab. Things are a little different this year. Even in school photos, we've got to do things a little bit differently. Everything's got to be contactless. So we've got some new solutions to how we're doing things. The protocols have led to some longer lines, more sanitation, and keeping students safe at a distance. And one of the biggest changes we've had to adapt to is standing posing and what we're doing with waist up. But still, to get that perfect crop, by using perceptual head sizing, we're able to have the perfect output no matter what the shooting condition is. We're also using exposure correction, which eliminates the need for metering. Exposure correction creates a consistent end product with every photo captured. Instead of individually editing each photo to retouch every blemish, pimple, or redness, Skylab can mass process all photos using artificial intelligence.
We normally start shooting our seniors on June 1st. But this year with the COVID outbreak, we were not able to take into start then. Protocols had not been established. Once the protocols were established, we're going to shoot seniors here in the studio for almost 200 days from the time that we start to the time that we end. Now with the one-step process with Skylab and the 6 minutes, 8 minutes per school, it all comes back to us flawlessly. I did a test about 6 weeks ago. I took my camera and I shot waist up, I shot close in, I shot different white balances, I shot different exposures. Anything that I could throw at it. All of the images were yearbook good. Now, instead of spending 5-6 minutes a kid, we just upload the images and within just several minutes, we have the whole school back to us.
We're taking long, repetitive, and manual tasks and getting instant printable results. Even with COVID constantly changing our workflow, we're still able to be more efficient than before. The tradition of photography is here to stay, but we're starting a new era in digital imaging.